For those who don't know me, I am Jendi Watson. I am a Hakomi Therapist located on Bainbridge Island. And as many of you are in the same boat as us, we are all in the red zone in COVID-19. Yeah, it's a really interesting time. And so I'd like to welcome you to Hug It Out, which is an online space where we can deeply connect and restore. And we can touch our faces all we want in this safe comfort of wherever you are. So I welcome you. And I want to give you a little bit of a background of why I am here tonight. The other night, I think it was Monday evening, I woke up at 3 a.m. and I had this sad realization of how close we are coming to social isolation or complete social isolation and how dangerous that is. And also realizing how scared and how panicked many of us in the world are, especially when the cases are high where you live. So scared that at the root of our beings, for many of us, people, we're hoarding toilet paper. Like that's some big stuff that's going on right now. So I thought, what can I do to help humans come together? We need each other. And so I thought about hosting an online place, but I didn't want to do it myself because I wanted to receive too. And I wanted something once a week to kind of bring myself back to a present place. And so on a whim, I just sent a really rough email to a few therapists and healers to see if they would be willing to donate their time and gift their time to share their expertise. So I went to bed, it was 4 a.m. And then I woke up and checked my email and I got back 4 yeses. And it was 4 yeses that folks wanted to give themselves to you. And I thought, holy shit, these are just like the best people. I am so thankful. And I can't wait for myself to really get a sense of what their skills are and what their talents are that they have such great expertise in. So the next 4 or 5 weeks are lined up with some really incredible therapists and healers. And I want to tell you, I had a therapy session today. So I went in and I said, I am so worried about this thing that I'm doing tonight. And I'm so worried about being humiliated publicly. And he's like, say a little bit more. And said a little bit more, and ultimately I got down to a very young, scared part inside of me that felt lonely and isolated and not lovable for who I am. And he said, well, isn't that ironic that you're hosting a place tonight for people to come together in love and in connection? And I swear to God, like the joke is on us, right? Like it's just so interesting where life brings us. So here I am. So the purpose of our time together is that this is something I deeply need for myself. And I thought, why not just have a place for everyone to hug it out, because we all need some hugs about right now. It's to bring love and connection in a time of social isolation. It's a time to offer an anchor point in our week. And anchors help us rest. Anchors help us know where we are. We're a place where we can stop and replenish. And they're dependable, and they must be rad because people get tats of them all the time. So we need a place to anchor ourselves throughout the week. And I'm looking forward to learning some new things from other therapists who will be joining us throughout the week. So I am so thankful for all of the healers and therapists who are saying yes to bringing their mad skills to all of us. They have spent decades learning their skill and fine-tuning their craft and ultimately listening to their deep intuition. These are such good people. Also, I want to invite you, if you have any questions, you can use the chat box on the right or wherever it is for you. There's a chat opportunity. Yeah. So I'd like to tell you just a small bit about the Hakomi therapy practice. It's a practice in mindfulness. And I mean practice in terms of like learning the violin or tennis or yoga. It's a mindfulness practice to deeply know yourself. And the definition of Hakomi is kind of sweet, and there are many definitions that have come forward throughout different languages in the world. It was founded by a gentleman by the name of Ron Kurtz in the 1970s, and the original definition that was given forward came from the Hopi tribe, and it means, who am I? Who am I in the many realms in which I stand? And other definitions that have come forward in Chinese, it's called irreverent laughter, which I define as the laughing science of nourishment, or don't take psychotherapy so seriously, like have some humor. So I love that definition. In Hebrew, it means, this is my place. And in Japanese, it means, Hakomi means one kind of love or family love. So Hakomi is a mindfulness practice rooted deeply in the body. It's a root up, it's a bottom up type of healing practice experientially. So what is mindfulness? It's a big buzzword right now. And the truth is that we as humans have always known what mindfulness is. We were born that way. And sometimes we forget. So it's a remembering of how we always have been. So when you are in mindfulness, it's a calm place of observing what is happening in the present moment. It's a place of reflection. There's a space and there's an ease in being right there, right deeply in your own skin and sitting so deeply in your body. And when we are in this place of calm, we are sitting in self. So I call it wise self, but some people call it your soul or your essence or your Buddha nature, whatever language you want to use, make it your own. But it's the idea of sitting deeply in your own body, in your own soul, your own self. And there are there are many qualities, but I'll use the definition from Dr. Richard Schwartz from Internal Family Systems, where when you are in self, there are these 8 qualities that emerge. And you don't have to take notes. It's on the front of my website if you're interested, but it's calm, curious, compassionate, clear, connected, courageous, creative, and confident. So these are the 8 C's, these 8 qualities that come forward when you are rooted and sitting in the seat of your wise self. So why is this especially important during COVID? When we are in self, we can sit in the unknown. When we are in self, we can rest and trust we are being held. When we are in self, we can see the fear and we can see what the fear is holding. But we don't have to be fear. When we're in self, we can see the worry and we can see the concern, but we don't have to be the worry. So it's this beautiful, calm place of being able to kind of take some steps back and witness what is actually happening. And I hope you brought some tea. I hope you're cozy. And if not, yeah, you can go get cozy. This is really weird to do without any feedback. It feels really naked, but I am just going to go with it and drink my tea. Hi, Eden. All right, so where are we now? Ah, great. So mindfulness, how do we get there? So let's go. Let's clear some space. And for some of you, that might mean to physically clear some space on your table or where you are. But I am talking about let's clear some space on the inside of ourselves. So much of our time, we are focused outside of ourselves, especially if we are parents, especially if we are working, especially if we are healers or therapists. Our energy is out. Right now is the opportunity to bring your energy on the inside. And this is a moment to just be with you. So go ahead, if it feels right to you, I invite you to bring your attention in. And some people have a practice of calling all of your energy back into yourself. Throughout the day, throughout the weeks, we kind of leave our energy scattered behind us, or even in the future, or wherever it is. Go ahead and bring your energy and call it right back into your body. And if it feels right to you, I invite you to simply rest your eyes in like a low gaze, or you may even close your eyes if that feels right. So if you already have a practice to create space and to arrive into your body, go ahead and do that. Or you may join me in taking a few deep breaths up to the collarbone. Taking a few moments to just fully come into your breath. So right now, just pay attention to your body, or just notice your body. What kind of sensations are you noticing? Are you noticing any tightness or pain? Just notice. Don't try and change anything right now. It's simply a matter of paying attention to what is right now. Perhaps you notice what kind of thoughts are running through your mind trying to get your attention. Just notice that. We're not trying to do anything or change anything. Maybe notice any emotions that might be coming up. Is there a buzzing or anxious quality? Is there sadness? Is there fear? Just take a moment and notice what's there for you right now. Maybe take a moment and just see if there has been any shift for you in the few minutes of just bringing your attention to yourself. Has there been any change? Just noticing, just seeing. So I invite you to see if you can locate the very center of your head, like halfway between your ears and halfway between the bridge of your nose and the back of your head, and see if you can kind of see a ball right there in the middle. And it can be any size you want. It can be any color. It can be gold, yellow, whatever color you want it to be. Just see if you can access a ball right in the very center of your head. Go ahead and breathe into that space. And as you're breathing into this space, see if you can extend your energy straight up into the heavens, or whatever language you want to use, like source or light. See if you can bring your energy straight up and connect straight up to the heavens. And as you're doing that, I invite you, if it feels right, to kind of open the top of your head and bring all of that heavenly energy straight down through the very core of your body. Bring it all the way down through yourself to the center of the earth, trusting it connects to the very center of the earth. You don't necessarily need to see it. It's fine if you can, it's great. But just trusting that you're connected to the very center of the earth. And with your mind's eye, I'm curious if, as you bring your attention up to your heart, if you can kind of imagine all of us together in a room that you love, or in a space that you love. It could be the forest, it could be in the water, it could be on the beach, it could be one of your favorite places. And perhaps you imagine all of us together standing in a great circle. And maybe you feel who is on your left. Maybe you feel who is on your right. Maybe looking across the room, you see one of your favorite people. Maybe you give them a wink. That we are all here together. Now, if this next part feels right to you, I invite you to call in your ancestors. I invite you to bring in your wisest ancestors to stand behind you. They stand right behind your heart. On the left and on the right, your wisest ancestors who hold you and stand behind you so lovingly. And as they stand behind you, they hold you and they hold us all together with grace, with understanding, because they've walked illness, they've walked war, they've walked death, they've walked joy and birth and great love. And here they are with you and for you. So now we're going to spend some time with our heart. I invite you to find where your heart feels for you right now and just place your attention there. And however you experience your heart, it doesn't have to be your heart on the left side or wherever you think your heart should be, but however you experience it, just place your attention there. And if you feel anything besides like a sweetness or a curiosity about it, maybe you can ask any parts that feel like it should be a different way or maybe critical of it, just to like give some space and see if you can be with your heart in a way that's kind of sweet and tender. You might even extend yourself, extend your compassion toward your heart, just letting it know that you are spending some time here with it. So, first notice, is there a color or is there a sensation that is presenting itself right now? And just noticing it. It might be shifting, but just noticing what color is it right now? How big do you see it? How open is your heart right now? Is it tender, or are there tender parts? Or is it tentative or calloused? Is it fluid? Is it flowing? Also notice how much space your heart has in there. Or does it feel contracted or tightly packed? Or is it quite spacious? You might find as you're checking it out that there, your heart is different in different places. Maybe the front is closed, but the back is open. Or maybe the energy can flow through some parts, but not all of it. And maybe there are some tender parts, or maybe some tentative parts. So, right now, as you have your heart's attention, maybe you can ask it, what do you want me to know? And just wait for an answer. Don't try and think something up, but just see what spontaneously comes to you. What do you want me to know? You might hear your heart talking to you, but you also might see visuals or pictures, however it communicates. Just pay attention to that. Perhaps the next question might be, what do you need to feel safe? And if there was any place in your heart that felt closed or contracted or calloused, you've located a part within your inner system that's protecting you. And protection is beautiful. Their intention is absolutely gorgeous. And if you want to ask a part of your heart that feels kind of closed or constricted, go ahead and ask what that part is protecting you from. What does it want you to know about right now? And the final question for your heart might be something like, what do you need from me? What do you need from me? When the visit with your heart feels complete, go ahead and shift your attention back into the room. And just before you do, go ahead and thank your heart for letting you know a little more about it. And I'm curious if anyone would be interested or willing to share perhaps anything that felt surprising to you or felt like a relief to know about. If so, you're welcome to unmute yourself and share, or you're welcome to say something in the chat box.
Hi, Jendi.
Hi, honey.
I will share that I was surprised that my heart, given the circumstances these days, my heart was small, contracted, and closed. And what I learned is that it is afraid of more pain and hurt. And its request was some leadership from me. And I was surprised that it felt closed because I thought, having so much empathy and compassion during this time and being so sensitive that I'd be wide open, and I'm not.
Yeah.
So good information. And I appreciate you having us ask, what do you need? Because then it separated me from that part. Like I wasn't the one in pain and hurt. I have this part that was in pain and hurt. And it wants leadership from me. was like, okay. So
Nice.
thank
Oh,
you.
yes. I'm seeing your appreciation for the clarity and for the willingness to listen and hear what it had to say. And maybe some relief in kind of knowing, like, actually what's going on. Did I get that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And nice to have that dialogue with so outwardly focused. It was like, oh, wait a minute, where am I? And I feel, calmer. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for being willing to share with us. And yeah, awesome. Thank you, dear. Would anyone else like to share? You don't have to.
Um, Maybe
Hi, Allie.
I um, a lot more fear than I realized, but not related to the things that I thought they were related to.
Oh,
Um, yeah, so kind of surprised in that way that the fear was coming from a whole different place that I sometimes consciously, sometimes unconsciously avoid. And so thinking, oh, it's just related to all the news, it's related to all this other stuff. And um, once I asked, realizing it's related to some other things that I should probably address. And
ah,
similar to Kimberly, it wanted regularity, maybe revisitation,
mm,
like a need to not be ignored. So,
yeah. So the request from you is quite clear also
mm,
of what it needs from you. And I'm appreciating you being willing to share that you're surprised by actually what you heard, and how, if it's okay to share that when we are in a place where there is crisis within our world, within our local community, that a lot of the times it's not necessarily what's happening, but it's an underlying thing that is still with us. And I'm appreciating you being willing to share that with us. And I hear it's tender, maybe.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, mostly fear related to medical things. Not that it's ever happened to me, but that a lot of people I love have experienced medical things. And so fear related to that, the memories and the experiences that we can't carry with us every single day, every moment of the day, but they're there.
Right. Right. Exactly. Right. And how you were able to really access the kind of root of why your heart was a little bit tender about that, which doesn't mean it's COVID's not, super valid to worry about. Of course, but there's also another thing there too. So, um, yeah, thank you for being brave to share that with us. Would anyone else care to share their experience of what may have surprised them or even felt relief about?
There's some in the chat too.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Hi, Tasha. Ah, yes. Oh, beautiful. I'm not sure if I should read it, um, but I think everyone can read what Tasha wrote. Thank you for saying that. Oh, you're wondering if your camera's working? Tasha, your camera is not working. Is it okay if I read what your chat is? I'm watching you respond. Oh, yeah, she says yes. So she says, thank you. That was deep. I noticed I was protecting and was able to open up and release and witness. So great being able to stay with yourself and follow what was going on within yourself. It sounds like you got some good information. And Allie, is it okay if I share what you wrote in chat? Thank you. She says, yes, it's okay to share. She says, I feel very similar, contracted and closed in my effort to control my world right now. It told me I hurt. Yes, I hear that. And I hear how your heart's really wanting to let you know that there is pain and that it needs tending to, it sounds like. Thank you for being willing to share, Allie. Hi, Marcy. Is it okay if I read that? Or do you want to say it? No, okay, great. So Marcy says, I love the thumbs up. She says, I noticed that I was taking on too much and trying to control. My heart thanked me for taking the time to connect and asked me to slow down. Wow, listen to that wisdom. It started to glow big with orange and yellow. That's some yummy business. What a shift in just a few minutes, and getting a really clear understanding. Yeah. And I share that with you of, taking on too much and, trying to control things, because shit, what else are we going to do? And, when we can come and sit in self, how there is so much wisdom that just percolates right up. So thank you, Marcy. And I love how you describe how your heart is and how it glows yellow and orange. It's really quite sweet. Thank you. Hi, Barbara. Barbara, is it okay to read what you wrote? Oh, I got a thumbs up. It's hard to read. So Barbara says, I'm doing my best to meet folks where they are in all of this. Amen, man. And yes, I experienced similar in regards to taking on so much. Thank you for the reminder about self. Yeah, we all need reminders about self. Thank you so much. And yeah, I hear your compassion for others and just accepting them for where they are, and you really allowing them to be however they are, because the experience is all over the place. So thank you for sharing that, Barbara. And the reminder for self, yeah, that's the point of us coming here together. I need that. So I appreciate you needing that with me. It makes me feel far less alone in this situation. I think someone said that, which I fucking love. All right. Oh, hi, Tasha. I see you. Hi. Oh, it's so good to see you. It's been years. Yeah, right back at you. Lovely. All right. Would anyone else like to share? Does that feel complete? I'm delighted with your sharing. Thank you so much for being willing to do that. And I'm delighted to see your faces. I'm so glad that worked out too. And thank you for all the tech help. All right, so we're going to come to a close in just a little bit, but this time together has really offered us an opportunity to join, to come together in mindfulness, and to come together in presence. And as you've witnessed, that when we are able to deeply drop in ourself, there's great wisdom that you all tapped into. And If you weren't able to get clear pictures or understandings, that's okay. And just go ahead and thank yourself for letting you know right where it's at. That's exactly where you need to be. That is absolutely wonderful. And just thank your body for however it shared with you. Thank it for that. And I just want to share that in our culture, there's not a lot of talk around dropping into yourself, that the information that we need is out there, that we need to go get it, that we need to achieve, that we need to go buy. It's this constant like outward energy. But when we can take a moment and step back and come right into yourself, all this wisdom, all this body wisdom percolates right up. And interestingly, we are in a time that has invited us to really slow down. And so in closing, I want to share with you, I got this from Facebook, and it's a share from a certified Hakomi therapist, teacher, and trainer named Roxanne Peterson. And it's a message from the International Council of 13 Indigenous Grandmothers. You may have seen this on Facebook. And I did not know who the International Council of 13 Indigenous Grandmothers are. So I Googled them, and the cutest thing comes up. It's 13 Indigenous grandmothers who represent all of these tribes and nations throughout the world. And their mission is to care for and carry the messages from the ancestors to carry the next 7 generations forward. And I find that so beautiful and exactly what I need in times where I'm struggling. I look to elders. I look to who has walked here before me that can help me. And so this message from the International Council of 13 Indigenous Grandmothers is this. As you move through these changing times, be easy on yourself and be easy on one another. You are at the beginning of something new. You are learning a new way of being. You will find that you are working less in the yang modes than you are used to. You will stop working so hard at getting from point A to point B the way you have in the past, but instead will spend more time experiencing yourself in the whole and your place in it. Instead of traveling to a goal out there, you will voyage deeper into yourself. Your mother's grandmother knew how to do this. Your ancestors from long ago knew how to do this. They knew the power of the feminine principle, and because you carry their DNA in your body, this wisdom and this way of being is within you. Call upon it, call it up, invite your ancestors in. As the yang-based habits and the decaying institutions of our planet begins to crumble, look up. A breeze is stirring. Feel the sun on your wings. That is their message to us. So thank you for joining. I will see you next week. I am bringing in a really neat guy. His name is Brad Galvin. He is located in Seattle, and he is a licensed mental health counselor. He's an EMDR therapist, and he specializes in helping people heal from substance abuse and gambling addictions. So he has some really great stuff to share with us, and how to be well and how to thrive in a time that is really hard for all of us. So that is next week. So I'll be here for the next Wednesdays during COVID at 8 p.m. Come anchor here with me. It will be so awesome. And if you have any questions, I'm willing to stay on for a few minutes and we can chat. And thank you so much for joining, everyone. It's been a total delight having you. Thank you. Thank you. Good evening and bye for now.